My camera is on.
Okay. So can you use your headphones? I guess my voice is echoing.
No, no, no. I am getting your voice very clearly. Fine now?
Okay.
Hmm. It might be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, Ritik, I guess we can start. I can see you now. We can start with your introduction, your current roles and responsibilities, your qualifications, and your day-to-day work.
So my qualifications are BTech with first division. I am 2016 pass out from GITM Gurgaon, and the university was Maharishi Dayanand University. After that, for 15 months, I worked for HCL Technologies on various profiles. And in Cessna Global Technologies, I was a network engineer. And after that, I joined KMG IT Services. So in this company, I've been a part of this firm for 2.5 years. So my daily tasks ask me, like I am working in a hybrid environment in which 50% of that includes IT internal operations, which includes network servers and all those stuff, and 50% of that includes cloud. So in cloud, we have various types of client who are requesting to create the resources for the production environment. So my task is to create those resources, create EC2 instances, configure servers, and their monitoring. And apart from that, since my current firm is a software development company, so 20 to 25% DevOps part is also included. So this is the overall profile.
Okay. So, which cloud provider you have worked on extensively?
Extensively, I have worked with AWS and a little bit on Azure.
So your basic fundamentals are clear for both of them?
AWS basics are very much clear, and in Azure I have created VMs and basic load balancing, etc. So not an in-depth knowledge in Azure. So Azure
Okay.
was used only for the testing purpose.
Okay. So any certifications you have for AWS or
So
Azure?
earlier I had I was a CCNA certified engineer, but right now I am preparing for AWS exam,
Which one?
AWS associate exam.
Okay. Architect Associate.
AWS architect
Oh,
associate.
okay, great. So, um, let's start with. So you have the basic knowledge of the network, right? Since you are CCNA certified, so you must be aware of all the stuff.
Yes, as far as I remember,
Great.
because I left that technology 2 years back. But basics never go. Even basic networking is used everywhere in AWS also, like private and
Right.
public addressing, NAT, gateways,
Mhm.
and all those stuffs and subnetting.
Okay. So, okay, that's one thing. And you also mentioned in your skill set that you are aware of Terraform as well. So, how comfortable you are with Terraform?
Up to intermediate level, not expert.
So, you can provision AWS or Azure
Mm-hmm.
environment using Terraform.
Yes. So if I talk about the basic creation of VPC and EC2 instances and the connection, so all those I have created. So there was only one project which required Terraform, and Terraform was only the part of it. So I have had
Okay, okay,
a little bit of hands-on experience on Terraform.
okay. So, let's start with the Terraform itself. So, how do you define a Terraform?
So Terraform is an infrastructure as a code kind of platform. In AWS, we have a dedicated service known as CloudFormation. So we can also use that. So in Terraform, first of all, we have to install that Terraform into EC2 instance. After that, we have to do the programming and coding, starting with the source and resource type like AWS, and after that the scripts goes on, and we have to define the EC2 or VPC, whatever we want to create. After that, all the coding and all those stuff is done. We apply Terraform apply command, and if we want to destroy any our infrastructure, so we use Terraform destroy command. So this is the overall scenario. So that Terraform which we used was for the backup purpose.
Okay. So you must be aware of the different state files that we have in Terraform.
So state files are the files which are used to change the state of the Terraform. Uh,
Ritu, can you do one thing? Can you put on your headphones, please? Because I'm having hard time hearing you.
okay.
If you have headphones.
So please wait. I will arrange.
Sure. Sure. Not a problem. I'll wait. Krati, I see you joining.
Hello. Hello. So are you? Am I audible? Okay. Okay. Mhm. So it is a third party outside vendor. First of all, it is compatible with all of the cloud platforms. Secondly, the dependency on the cloud resources is gone, and it is more cost efficient than the other tools. So that's why Terraform is used. So if I talk about the cloud formation, so that is the inbuilt service of the AWS. So if I talk about the Terraform, as far as my knowledge is concerned, that is very incurs a very less cost. No, no, cost of using, not coding. Yes. Mhm. 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 So whatever the changes are, that those changes will be applied to our infrastructure, and apart from that, we should use the dry run to check what will happen. Hmm. So the VM will be changed accordingly to that. No, it will upgrade that uh, VM. So that I didn't observe actually, but when I changed the state file, so the changes were implemented. So I didn't observe that whether it was destroyed or created in that only. No idea, sorry. Hmm. Mhm. Without locking. Mhm. So as far as my knowledge, nothing will happen because since the file is locked, so nothing will happen. First of all, we will have to unlock it. This kind of scenario I have not tried, but we should get an error because sometimes anything which is getting wrong or any the wrong information is fed, so the error codes are given by the console. So modules are modules are the maybe the sub parts of the coding which we write. Like in Ansible also we have modules. Uh, So modules are one are ad hoc files, one are modules, and one is the complete code. So modules is the sub part of the code which we write. So Terraform plan define whatever the we're planning in the whether that whatever we have planned that will be successfully implemented or not, and validate means the validation that whether the program is run infrastructure is successfully deployed or not. Hmm. So first of all, the Terraform init will come, and after that Terraform plan, and after that validate. Actually, I have used Terraform for only one project, and that too 6 months back. So I don't remember much. Yes, yes. So right now I am following a Core Cloud tutorial. So I am about to start Terraform in within a week. Yes, AWS, and in that when we create VM, we use create using Linux, and apart from that, in internal operations, we have the servers and firewalls. So these kind of technologies we are using. And in AWS. So in Linux, my Linux knowledge is up to the requirement of AWS, not up to administrator level. Route 53 is the DNS management service in AWS. So we do health checkups and traffic management, domain registration, and all those kind of stuff in Route 53. Yes, yes, yes. So use alias for that purpose. A record. Use a record for that. Lambda is the triggering service, and the serverless computing facility which is provided by the cloud. So the programming languages which are supported are PowerShell, Go, Java, C, C++, and all those stuff. And if we want to trigger anything, like so there are two types of scenario I would like to share. One is that if you want to start and stop an EC2 instance, one in daytime and one in night time. So create a JSON form policy for that, attach that to the cron tabs which are already present in CloudWatch, and after that use Lambda function to trigger any event. So for triggering events, Lambda is used. Apart from that, we had some server data loss in our company. So we had used Lambda along with DynamoDB IAM roles. So whenever a developer pushes his important data to save to cloud in S3, an event is triggered and we get a log in DynamoDB. So these are the various scenarios where Lambda is used. Yes. EC2 is basically the machine which we create, basically the server. So suppose if we create a server on premise, right? So you subtract the hardware part from that and move hardware part to some other data center, and only the remote kind of thing. So the hardware dependency is mitigated. So that's EC2 is all about. So there are various types of various types various types of EC2 instances are provided. So full form is Elastic Cloud Compute, and in Azure we call that VM. So there are various types of EC2 instances. Earlier, Linux and Windows were provided, and recently AWS has also introduced Mac instances. Consequent version of Lambda in AWS. Uh, uh, Sorry, sir, no idea, not used. So if I talk about the Azure, so it is used for the basic testing of the .NET, the websites which are created in .NET for the in IIS, and apart from that, the basic testing only. And apart from that, databases migration, but that's all. No, no, both are Microsoft products. So the company uh, has asked to use Azure for the .NET project for testing purposes. So we don't use Azure because as compared to AWS, it's a bit slow. One is object oriented storage and one is block level storage. So the all the internet data is known as object level storage, and all the volume related data is stored in block level storage. So so whenever the data is moved, so one is breakdown into blocks, and other one is the completely object. So S3 deep archive. All the archiving storage we will use, or infrequent access. Uh, So one is glacier and one is snowball. So glacier is used for the infrequent the data which is to be accessed infrequent in an infrequent manner. So that is known as glacier. And apart from glacier, we have snowball to move the very large amount of data. So if we want to be a cost effective and want to access our data on a very long term basis, so we should use S3 deep archive or glacier or all these kind of storages, or else use intelligent tiering for moving the data to the these type of storages automatically. Mhm. So there will be two scenarios. One will be like use load balancing and auto scaling, which are provided in AWS, and second is to use the clustering and orchestrating tools like Kubernetes. So it rolls in and rolls out in a very flexible manner, or otherwise we will go for load balancing and auto scaling. Yeah, yes, it might trigger an event if we attach those services to the Lambda. So the basically the Lambda which I used, there were two scenarios that I have already shared. And apart from that, if we want to do the load based on the any metric, so we use either the if the application is Dockerized, so the Kubernetes is the best option, or otherwise use load balancing and auto scaling. So if the application is a distributed kind of thing, so we should you go for the memory metric, or if it is a single and a very complex, so for that we use CPU as a metric. Mm. Bucket is the storage in S3. As far as my knowledge is, there can be around 50 buckets. So I had gone through its documentation. Right now I don't remember, but as far as my memory, 50 buckets can be created. Number of buckets, I think 51. I have read this around 5 months back. Mhm. So, so one person has also asked me this question. So that time I had research on this. Okay. So, mm, VPCs can be 5, EC2 instances can be 20, and subnets I think maximum 10. I don't remember the exact figure. Uh, so maximum I have created 10 subnets because more than that those were not required. So subnet is basically used to divide the network. Like so, suppose there is a scenario: one is web server and one is the database server. So the lower we go in the subnets, we have to define the IPs. So for the web server, so suppose we define the subnet 10.0.0.0/16. So for next the database we will define 10.0.1.0/24. So uh, to keep the data separate. So logically we have to create that database is a different thing and web is something different thing, and we will deploy that using then the connectivity will be made using the net. Hmm. Hmm. So I think those are not mutually exclusive. Database server is not to be exposed internet directly. So the web server is supposed to talk to the internet. So those are not mutually exclusive. The web server is dependent upon database server. Otherwise, from where the data will be accessed. Mhm. For that we will use net. So all the traffic will be moved through net and will not be exposed to internet directly. So we can use the Route 53, but the basic architecture of deploying any web application is this only. So apart from Route 53 also, if we talk, so we can use various type of services. But I am talking about the general servers. So the subnets are basically used to define the basically divide the network into logical parts so that the data can be managed more in an efficient manner and in a classified manner. Mhm. Pretty much comfortable uh, as per the questions asked. 3.5 to 4 out of 5. Different states mean. Mhm. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. I got your point. So it can be paused. So there are a total 5 to 6 states. One is kill, one is stop, one is start, one is running, one is paused. So these kind of states are there. Uh, uh, we kill the container when we don't need it, but I am not sure whether it is a state or not. So the various states are like running state, pause state, stop. So these are the states of the container. In terms of Docker or VMware. So there are two types of virtualization. So the traditional virtualization includes that we define an operating system, and after that we use a tool like Oracle VirtualBox or VMware client, and install divide further uh, operating system into further. So that is an overhead. So that is the traditional kind of the virtualization in which the wastage of resources occur. because suppose we have defined 2 GB RAM for a particular VM, and if the application is not using that RAM to the full, so that the resources are wasted. So other one is the Docker kind of virtualization, which Docker uses OS level virtualization, so it does not require the dedicated operating system. So that's why it is a very lightweight and is very fast and flexible to use. So the OS level virtualization is done by the Docker, and the traditional VMs are the VMs which we use in VMware or Citrix or anything else. No, sir. Mhm. 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 Yes, yes.